Hello class 10. Today we will do revision of the spread of Western education for your first unit test. So today's topic is the revision of spread of Western education. So in spread of Western education, what we will see is that the background. First we will see the background. What was the condition of education in India? In India, we have already discussed that in India there was the basic structure was there, but there was no proper education system during that time. Tolls were there, tolls and madrasas were there for education of the Hindus, and maktabs were there for the education of the maktabs, and madrasas were there for the Muslims. Tolls were there for the Hindus. Pathshalas were there for the Hindus for primary education, and tolls were there for the Hindus for higher education. Similarly, maktabs and madrasas were there for the Muslims. There we see that basically religious education was given. No proper Western science, history, Western literature, these things were not taught, and no proper history science, as we know that India does not have the recorded writings before the British came. Before that period we did not have much written books, so only religious type of education was given in those places. And when the company came, the English East India Company came for trade and commerce, came to set a factory in India, they did not took any initiative to impart education or to spread education among the India. But from the company's side, though there was no initiative, the British individual people had taken some initiative, and that played an important part in opening the eyes of the the British individuals who are trying to impart education to the people of India. And this worked as an eye opener for the Indian, that what real education should be. So during this time we see that in 1781 Warren Hastings founded the Calcutta Madrasa. Here also we see basically religious based education was given, but the education was much wider in scope. Then in 1784 we see that it was Jonathan Duncan who set up the Asiatic Society. Asiatic Society was basically formed for the research works. Then in 1792 we know that William Jones founded the Sanskrit College. So remember these, that Warren Hastings founded the Calcutta Madrasa. Then Jonathan Duncan founded the Asiatic Society for research work. 1792 William Jones founded the Sanskrit College. These were the important places where education actually started. And these people, these British individuals took the initiative to give some kind of education to the Indian people. In 1800 we see actually for their own motive the Fort William College was set up. Now there was an important motive for setting up of the Fort William College that can come as a question also. Why was the Fort William College set up, and when? 1800 we know that it was set up. The Fort William College was mainly set up for giving or for imparting education to the British civilian in Indian language, Indian custom and Indian culture, because they wanted to post the British civilian in Indian administration. In Indian administration they wanted to give the posting to the British civilian. For this they had to know Indian language and Indian culture and custom. These things were taught to the British civilian in the Fort William College, which helped them in civil service exams, and they were given post in Indian administration. As gradually the British had taken over the administration of the country, British civilians were given the post, but they had to study in the Fort William College to learn the Indian language, custom and culture. So this college was basically set up for the purpose of giving education to the British civilian in Indian language, custom and culture. After this, we see the landmark event happened, that is the initiative of the company. The company, East India Company, finally took the initiative. They were severely criticized for trading in India for so long. From 1600 they are trading, and till 1800s they had not taken any initiative to develop the education in India. Now in 1813, the most important incident occurred, that is the Charter Act was passed. This Charter Act is very important, the Charter Act of 1813. The Charter Act of 1813 was one of the most important Charter Act, because it said, in this act it was said that the company would give or grant 1 lakh rupees for the development and spread of education in India. Now, so we see for the first time the company is doing something. The company is allocating 1 lakh rupees for the development of education in India. This amount was a huge amount in those days, 1813. During that time it was a huge amount, but what happened actually is this amount could not be used till 1823, because a controversy started that which should be the medium, what should be the medium, English or Indian language, medium of instruction, what type of education should be given, Orientalist or Anglicist. So as the controversy started after the Charter Act, we see that the amount, the sum of 1 lakh rupees which was allotted for development of education in India could not be used. Also, we see that by 1813 Act, the monopoly trade of the British also was established in India. And what we see is that, so in 1823, we see that this problem was resolved, how the sum should be used. But before that, they had started the Anglicist-Orientalist controversy, because two groups of people emerged. One group was the Anglicist. They supported the spread of Western education in India in Western language, that is in English. They were the Anglicists. Another group of people, they were the Orientalist. They supported that in India, education should be given in Oriental language, that is in Indian language. Sanskrit and Persian should be the medium of instruction, and Indian education should be given. So there was a controversy between these two groups, Anglicist and Orientalist. Anglicist wanted Western education, Orientalist wanted Indian education. The Anglicists said that the Indians already know the Indian education, they are already studying about that. So we need to introduce Western education in India. And ultimately we see that in 1823 the GCPI was formed, the General Committee of Public Instruction. GCPI is the General Committee of Public Instruction, and with the formation of the General Committee of Public Instruction, we see that this controversy was came to be resolved, and the Anglicists were the majority. They wrote letter to Lord Amherst. It was Raja Rammohun Roy also, who was one of the Anglicists who supported the Anglicists. He wrote a letter to Lord Amherst that India needs to learn Western science, Western history and Western literature and Western philosophy as well. So Western education should be introduced in India. So this was the main thing, and there we see that the Anglicists got the majority support. So it was decided that the Anglicist education, that is Western education, will be given to the Indian people. In 1835, the Macaulay's Minute was presented. Macaulay's Minute, very important. Macaulay's Minute, what was said in the Macaulay's Minute in 1835, Macaulay clearly stated and declared that they will spread Western education and they have no interest in giving Indian education to the Indian people. Macaulay in his Minute said that we want to create a class of people who are Indian in blood and flesh, but in thought and in taste they will be British. That is, they will think like a British, they will try to be like a British, but blood and flesh, they will be Indian. So through the education, they wanted to create a class of people. Their real motive was not to educate the Indian people. Their real motive was actually to get a class of people who can work for them. So Macaulay clearly stated that we want to create a class of people who will be British in taste and opinion, so that they can get support from this class of people. And he declared that as this is our motive, so we will give Western education only to higher education to the upper class people. So by Macaulay's minute, it was clearly stated that the British will spend mainly for the higher education, and they will give Western education to the upper class people who can afford it. Thus, in Macaulay's minute, we see the downward percolation theory or the downward filtration theory. Came into being, that is, it is said that how then the people will learn the primary education. Macaulay's minute stated that the people will get the knowledge of the primary education from the upper class people who can afford this higher education. They will spread or percolate, education will percolate to the lower classes from the upper class people, and the primary education will be given by this upper class people to the lower class people. Thus education would percolate downward. This is known as the famous or infamous downward filtration theory. And we see that the upper class Indian took the initiative to give the primary education among the common people, among the lower class people. But the British did not take any initiative, at least in the first half till 1850, they did not take any initiative to set up primary educational institution. So this was the situation in Indian education, where we see that after this, in 1854, Charles Wood passed his famous dispatch, and from 1854 we see that as they were severely criticized for not taking a primary education, in Charles Wood's dispatch it was stated that the British would also take initiative to spread education among the primary level. So in 1854, Charles Wood's dispatch, 19th July it was. Charles Wood's dispatch was passed, and in Wood's dispatch it was said that they will take initiative to spread primary education as well. Also it was stated that the Western science, Western philosophy, Western literature and Western history should be spread among the people of India. For this, on the basis of the London University, 3 universities were to be formed in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. And in 1857 we see that this implementation of the Wood's dispatch started. Different branches were planned to be set up in different universities. Separate branches for higher studies of different subjects were set up. And in 1857, the Calcutta University was formed based on the model of the London University. And within few months, the Mumbai or the Bombay University and the Madras University also came into being. So this this happened following the Wood's dispatch. After this, we see that the education started spreading in different classes of people, and the higher education was also flourishing in India. So in Calcutta University, we see in 1835, before the Wood's dispatch, that is in 1835, after the Macaulay's minute, the Calcutta Medical College was also formed. 1835, the Calcutta Medical College was formed to teach Western science, Western medical science to the Indian students. This was an important change, important landmark. We can see that the Calcutta Medical College was formed, and in 1854 we see that the Wood's dispatch was passed, and from then 1857 the Calcutta University was set up. And in the Calcutta University, what we see is that separate branches were set up for different subjects, for higher studies of different subjects, and Lord Canning was the first Chancellor of the Calcutta University, and the first Vice Chancellor was James William Colville, and the Calcutta University became a center of excellence in the system of education. So this was the first phase, how the education system was started by the British, the background when the British East India Company did not take any initiative, the individuals took initiative. Then we see that from 1813 the company started taking initiative, they involved in this, and how they started the spread of education. And this was it. And after this we have the individual initiatives of Indian people like Ram Mohan, Vidyasagar, how the Indian people also took initiative in the spread of education among the Indian people. Thank you.